How long does it take to onboard a new employee? Most leaders think that onboarding ends after a week. That mindset is costing them more than they think. I'm going to show you what is the common mistake regarding timing of onboarding, and it's not what you think. One overlooked decision in your onboarding process can make it a success or completely sabotage it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly the correct timing for onboarding, and you will be able to do it perfectly without cutting corners. So what is onboarding, and what is the perfect time for onboarding? So onboarding is the process of bringing somebody on board. You get somebody that is completely new to your company. They haven't heard about your company, or maybe they heard enough in order to apply for the position and they accepted the position, but they haven't been invited inside as an insider. So when you onboard somebody, you are bringing them on board. They are now part of your company. So how long does it take? Many companies think that it takes a day, maybe a week, but it really doesn't. That's where we have to separate between general onboarding and specific onboarding for that particular position, but also being onboarded as part of the group, getting accustomed to the culture, to the people, and really being part of that group. So onboarding should actually take about 90 days. 90 days, that's a long time. Yes, it is. But what are the consequences of not doing onboarding correctly? We all have experienced that. You have somebody coming on, you onboard him in terms of, and the onboarding is filling out some paperwork, letting them know where they are supposed to sit, or if they work remotely, how do they connect into the group, and it ends there. And then they need to somehow figure out how to manage to find a way around in the company. And those that are successful will make it, and those that are not, are not. And that is where turnover becomes a problem because of incorrect onboarding. So what are you going to do during 30, 60, 90 days? Well, you have to make sure that you have an onboarding process. So here's how it goes. You have a general onboarding. It's the first day, it's the first impression. You make sure that you welcome the new employee and give them a very good orientation. Have them watch a welcome video by the CEO and founder of the company, or the CEO or the founder if it's not the same person. Have them read about the core values. What is expected of them as a team member? Explain to them the general terms about the company. What is your management style? What is your organizational chart? How do you do certain things? What do you produce? What do you deliver? Now give them the full orientation and don't skimp. Really give them the information so they feel that they made the right decision and arrived at the right group. Of course, you need to do all the administrative stuff, all the forms, get them logged into systems, making sure they have their correct passwords. So all of that you do it whether it's a day or two, but really spend time on that general onboarding. Then you're going to go into specific onboarding for their position. And the best way to do that is to outline the milestones throughout the first 30 days, the first 60 days, and 90 days. And each one of those milestones should contain specific competencies that you would like the new employee to gain. And those competencies can be specific for their position, but also general in terms of the company, in terms of how do they learn about the culture, how do they integrate into the culture, your core values, how can they actually absorb those core values and show them in everything that they do. That should be one of the competencies that you're going to evaluate them against. And also then specific to the role. That's why well-documented processes and procedures are so important. You got to have the specific processes, the specific procedures, and then throughout the onboarding, the first 90 days, you get them to study it, you get them to learn it, you get them to demonstrate it, you get them to do practical exercises to show that they know what they're doing. Have them ask questions, but have specific sessions where they're actually with a trainer and are able to ask those questions. So it's a combination of a textbook, which are your written processes and procedures, and on-the-job learning, and also working with somebody that can watch what they're doing, can see what they're doing, can evaluate them, and ensure that they are meeting those competencies. Now, each position is different. It really depends on the complexity of the position, on the technical know-how that people need to have, whether it is a simple instructional video or it's a more complicated course. Whatever it is, you have to build it into the onboarding and then present it to the employee at the beginning so they know what their journey will look like. I had a client where we built, it was a mortgage brokerage, and we built a very specific onboarding process where it was broken by weeks. And it was very clear what the new employee will need to achieve at the end of each week or the end of each module if you don't want to do it time bound. I mean, you can use it time bound, but also competency based. So at the end of each module, it was very clear what that employee needed to achieve. And they signed it off. Yes, they achieved it. The supervisor will sign it off as well. And then they will move to the next module and the next module. What is the result of that? The result of that is a very stable employee that understands the company, fits into the company, understands their role, understands what is it that is expected from them, and they can produce. And once they can produce, they're more likely to stay because they see that there is a future. They see that they are able to be successful. And they also see that you are invested in their success, and that is why you spend that time creating that very thorough onboarding process so they will actually make it. If you want to speed up onboarding and do it right, it starts with well-documented processes and procedures that are easy to follow and understand. So watch the next video where I go over how to document those processes and procedures. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can learn how to systematize your business so you can scale and be successful. My name is Adi. I'm a process consultant, and I'm here to help you systematize your business.